Hey, it's me, Jimmy D, and I'm here with Hubbard. The trailer for the new Scooby-Doo movie, Scoob, recently came out, and we thought this would be a great time to kind of just talk about Scooby-Doo. Um,
It was because this is something that we both grew up watching a lot.
we both grew up watching, and honestly, Scooby-Doo means more to me than any other cartoon. Um, in fact, just to kind of prove that point, my lanyard at work is a Scooby Doo lanyard, and kids bring me Scooby snacks. And these are juniors in high school, by the way. They're not like little kids. Um, and when they've done assignments or different things, they all or took pictures for yearbooks or different assignments of me. They always made sure the Scooby Doo lanyard was up front because it's like part of my image, just as much as plaid. Um, it just Scooby Doo means a lot. And like Hubbard, it all started when we were little kids. And I would say I loved the original show and I watched it as a kid, but I don't think the mad rush and like drive for Scooby Doo came until the direct to DV VHS tape movies.
The director, fucking director of
Video.
videos.
Yep. Of the Scooby Doo and Zombie Island, Cyber Chase, The Witch's Ghost, um, the what was the
Alien
next
Invaders,
Alien Invaders, and
and then
honestly,
at least in my opinion, the pinnacle, Cyber Chase.
yes, Cyber Chase is amazing. I honestly throw the Mexican vampire one in there with them. I don't think it's as good as those, but I do believe it's a top notch Scooby Doo movie. It's when the Hex Girls show back up. Um,
Was it really for the Monster Mexico? Or was it for the Legend of Vampire?
it was, it was, it was. I think it was Legend of Vampire. Not. I can't think of the name, but I can see the cover. It's orange. The giant vampire monster is hanging over like the desert cliff. They're performing a music festival.
I think that is the Legend of Vampire.
Like that right there. I can visually describe the movie. That's how much Scooby Doo means to me. And I'm sure if you're watching this, it means just as much to you too.
Unless you're unfamiliar with it, then welcome to the.
Welcome. We're about to give you a shot of life that you never would have imagined. Because Scooby Doo just is a pinnacle of any animation. Scooby Doo is one of the longest running shows. It is in terms of character and franchise. It turned, was it 75 years old? 80?
It started in 1969. That's when it's kind of started. It. So.
It
Yeah,
is
3 years.
80.
Really? 80? This is like basic math, and we just shit at
I'm an
this.
English teacher.
It's 50. This is basically the 50th video of Scooby Doo.
We're idiots. 50 years of Scooby Doo. Um, I should know this. I literally the NASCAR Scooby Doo car, celebrating the 50 years of Scooby Doo, and it. But that's sort of another like example. Like Scooby Doo has been out for so long and is so important to so many generations that it seems like it's been out longer than it actually has.
Pretty
Like
much, like, it gone through a lot of phases and all.
there are two really good of the classic Scooby Doo shows that to me are above the rest. And that is A Pup Named Scooby-Doo and the 13th Ghost of Scooby-Doo. Because I love the 13 Ghosts because it takes Scooby-Doo, it deals him with real monsters, which I think I loved that show more than anything else was because my real love for Scooby-Doo started with the direct-to-video movies. And because the direct-to-video movies dealt with Scooby-Doo dealing with real monsters. So because I love that, the 13th Ghost of Scooby-Doo, that I gravitated towards that. And then the Pup Named Scooby-Doo is just phenomenal. The music alone, Scooby-Doo-be-Doo, doo-ba-dee-doo. Like,
The intro song is catchy alone.
yes, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo. Like, it's just, that, like, it's so good. And I've been talking a lot. Hubbard, take it away. Talk about Scooby-Doo, your love for it, and what really is the pinnacle Scooby-Doo for you.
Okay, so for me, I remember seeing like the original one some point when I was a kid. I don't remember how old I was. It was like, but I remember seeing like the old original Scooby-Doo. Are you? I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Some bunch of mystery gang folks are talking dog that can't speak English just like me. And I was like, this is good entertainment, you know. And I just watch it and watch it, you know, whenever they show the old stuff, and then along with some of the newest stuff, which I think it was like, I think it was pretty much was sort of like what's new Scooby Doo. That was okay for, but yeah, what news for us because we were born in '95, so there was that kind of real gap.
Yeah,
That we were that we.
Scooby-Doo was just reruns at that point. Pup Named Scooby-Doo had ended.
And
Then the direct video movies came out, and then because of those movies being so popular, it started What's New Scooby-Doo.
So yeah, so One New Scooby-Doo was like the latest Scooby-Doo show for us.
Yeah,
when we grew up.
Yes.
And that's the one. That was what I really watched the most.
I did too.
Because I was like, oh, yeah. And honestly, that's still like out of all the latest Scooby-Doo shows up to modern time. One New Scooby-Doo is still the only one I've seen like every single episode. The rest I kind of just,
So
I don't know.
What's New Scooby-Doo holds a special place for me because there were the new episodes, all those not direct to video, but like after they aired, they made like compilation DVDs of What's New Scooby-Doo, and I owned a lot of those. They made TV specials with What's New Scooby-Doo. And What's New Scooby-Doo and the direct-to-video movies at that point were connected. So it was like one chronological story going on. And like each of the movies would be connected. It was phenomenal. I would have to say any other of the newer Scooby-Doo series would have to be Mystery Incorporated, which was the kind of twist of the Scooby-Doo franchise where they kind of made it more serious.
This was sort of more of the, like, I guess, another origin story in a way.
Yeah, it was another origin story because they became younger and then they were dealing with different monsters. But it
in their hometown. Yeah, it was in their hometown. And it was kind of this one was weird. Like I tried to get onto it, but for some reason I think I could have just fully caught on to it.
Yeah, and I get that because if you don't watch every episode of that show, you lose plot, you lose story because it's not one episode done. Like
and that was
season arcs.
And this was the one like. I mean, some of the older Scooby-Doo kind of were like that. Like the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, that was pretty much like, you know, it was about each them trying to free the ghosts.
Yeah.
And that had his backstory to it. But more like the old one, like was like, well, are you Scooby-Doo? Are you and like One New Scooby-Doo? Every episode was a new, completely different story that had no connection to the past.
Yes.
So you could just hop on, watch, and be like, "Oh, okay."
And the same thing with a Pup Named Scooby-Doo. Like,
yes,
it was just brand new. Like, it was just a whole new story. And I have to say, as an English person, I kind of love a Pup Named Scooby-Doo because Fred's nemesis, who he always blamed for the mysteries, Red Herring. So,
didn't that kid have like a tattoo on his arm?
Yes, he did. He did.
How the fuck?
But a red, like if you don't know, a red herring is like the definition of a red herring is a element or part of the plot that is thrown in to lead the reader or viewer astray of the actual villain or actual mystery.
Fucking Fred always
And
blame Red
Fred is
Herring.
blaming red herring. He's like, it's red herring. And I'm like I did never realize that as a kid, but I didn't realize it until college when we're studying stories and talking about a red herring. I'm like, why are we talking about Scooby
But I mean,
Doo?
that's the charm about some of these. Oh, the charm about some of these kids shows that when you see as a kid, you know a cartoon, but as you get older, you kind of look back to it, you're like, oh, I get it now. Like, oh, I never realized this. So, you caught on to stuff.
Yeah, and that's one of the beautiful things about Scooby Doo. And I love it to death. The
Yeah.
the live action movies, some people might not like them, but guess what? I love them. I will, if it's on TV, I will watch it. Um, They were one of the first.
Okay, before you,
Yeah,
which by live action, you're talking about like the one we saw in Fido, not the one that was the one who did the Fido ones.
the one that starred Matthew Lillard was the Scooby Doo live action I'm talking about. Even the Cartoon Network TV special live action ones, those weren't bad. I did enjoy those. But in
That was
terms,
just,
they were just
it was
okay.
just,
They were
yeah,
okay.
that was
But
just,
the live action with Matthew Lillard, those movies are just fantastic. It was one of the first like PG-13 um movies, and I don't even think it's rated PG-13, but it's one of the non like cartoon or Disney movies that I went to the movies and saw was this Scooby-Doo, and I can literally imagine, like, just think back and see myself sitting in the theater at the fight that Scooby and Shaggy go through, and I'm just sitting there
fucking,
just loving it.
fucking damn, you walking behind, just get
We're here to
this.
solve a mystery.
Bro.
Just the funniest thing too, like as a kid, I tried to do that shit. Like,
Have you? Okay, so quickly this. Have you ever noticed how like the live action film sort of kind of like each of the characters sort of touch on to like the personality of the cartoon ones.
yes.
Like Daphne was always was the damsel in distress,
Mm-hmm.
and in the live film in the live movie, they kind of like acknowledged it, like yeah, like they acknowledged that, and they kind of made her like oh black belt. And you see her actually fighting back.
Yes. And I love that fight sequence with the Mexican wrestler on the roof of Spooky Island, and she's like, "Who's the damsel now?" And he goes, "Me." And then she takes the ropes and jumps down and hits him. Just the fact that it was Scrappy Doo, just I love that twist, and it was Mr. Bean. Like everything about the first movie is phenomenal. Now the second movie, I don't think it's as good as the first movie, but I still loved it because you saw classic Scooby-Doo monsters come to life on the live screen.
No, yes,
You
the fucking
saw like the Mystery Inc. Clubhouse, which was phenomenal. I loved it. The Stretch Limousine Mystery Machine, like everything about it just was great, and I really did enjoy it. Even the product placement, I remember Scooby and Shaggy showing up to the premiere of their museum and eating Burger King. I know it's KFC in Britain for some reason, but for me it was Burger King, and it's fantastic. And like when I watch it on like on YouTube, I'll look up the clip, and then the clip will have a different product placement. I'm like, that's fucking wrong. Um, but that shows you. And Matthew Lillard is Shaggy. I don't care what people think with the new voice actor. I believe Matthew Lillard should have had. I think it's a little offensive that he didn't get to be Shaggy in this new movie, because he is Shaggy, 100%.
Pretty much, it's the same way. It pretty much was way. Pretty much way. Matthew is pretty much the Robert Down Jr. to like Marvel, Disney.
Yes.
You could just take them. You could take them out of the screen, and they still be like the characters, just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Like they were born. They were pretty much the living origin of these people.
Yes. 100% agree. It's just Scooby-Doo is special. It really is.
It is. So here's a question I want to ask.
Go for it.
What do you feel like was the pinnacle for Scooby-Doo from today all the way to the beginning?
Honestly,
What do you think was like the peak, the golden moment of Scooby-Doo?
the golden era were the direct-to-video movies in the 90s. Those movies not only sparked the interest back into Scooby-Doo, because after A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, there was no shows on, and like it was just reruns. Nothing new of Scooby-Doo was coming out for years. And
There was just, and I want to say this: Pup Named Scooby-Doo ended in like the last one was like 1991. The one new Scooby-Doo started in 2002. That for basically doing this 10-year gap was when the direct videos came in, and that's what reunited the show.
Yeah.
But kind of like I said, but I kind of fall back how I said like when we grew up, we sort of originally watched the original until the new one came out. But yeah, that was sort of like that real gap era.
Yeah, it was the gap, but it also, I believe, was that pinnacle moment. Without those movies, Scooby-Doo wouldn't be on today, I don't think.
No, I think it would, but it is not going to be as great as it used to be. It would be different than what we have now.
I feel like it would be a reboot, almost. Like,
well, that's what we all experiencing a reboot right now.
Yeah.
Multiple reboots with Scooby-Doo, honestly. I guess that's the way to put it.
But the thing is, the original voice actors are still playing them in the new Boomerang Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, the show that we covered on this channel. So, like, while it's a reboot, it's still kind of the same in the same sense. It's more like a continuation, and it pokes fun at itself, which is great. But yeah.
Now, yeah, and like I guess a quick track. Scooby-Doo Guess Who was pretty much the reboot version of the new Scooby-Doo movie, which was pretty much the same concept. They took like well-known people, like the Harlem Globetrotter,
the Three Stooges.
The Three Stooges, and it kind of like pop up shows and people back in that time and had them as guest stars.
Yeah,
kind of like how this one was.
And
of course, and then we have all those WWE movies and Kiss and stuff those movies.
WWE movies.
Those direct to video movies are just honestly, in my opinion.
It's hit or miss. I feel like some are really good. Like the Batman one is really good. The recent Batman movie that came out, that's really good. And I believe like the Blue Falcon one is really good.
So the ones that they kind of touch on the other Warner Brothers stuff or the old Harlem Bird.
Yeah. The ones that are able to dabble in the past for Scooby-Doo are really good. The ones that don't, they're okay.
The next one was supposed to be about King Arthur,
which is interesting to me.
It is. I'm curious how this is gonna work out.
I'll buy it. Like,
I don't mind watching it because I do have a bit of interest in King Arthur history, so I'm like, okay, I want to see this. How does it play out?
We would love to know what some of your favorite Scooby-Doo shows and just Scooby-Doo moments in general are in the comments below.
We forgot to just to bring up.
What?
Remember the Laugh Olympics?
Yes, I do. Team Scooby.
Okay, so quick thing. So some point back then, Boomerang, like Hanna-Barbera was like, we should do a Hanna-Barbera version of the Olympics. and they literally just got like all these handball characters together, split them into a team, and you just see them doing actual Olympic sport upon each other.
And it was great.
It was like they never they really for our time they rarely show it, but when they did, I always try to watch it because it was so
I,
unique.
I did too. And I I would love a new version of the Laugh Olympics, especially because they're doing this Hanna-Barbera universe. Um,
I would just love to see. I'll see if they did bring it back somehow, some way.
yeah.
I'd love to see it expanded more into like Warner Brothers in general, since now
Yes.
Warner Brothers is the people who is making the latest Scooby Doo stuff.
So like a Warner Brothers Olympics instead of just Hanna-Barbera.
Yes, because I feel like that would be much more easy to play out.
Well, they really
Since
could do that because you had in the trailer, you had Daphne play her Halloween costume.
Wonder Woman
She
and
was Wonder
the
Woman.
Halloween.
She was Wonder Woman as her Halloween costume. So you honestly could have that, and I would watch the crap out of that. Um,
That would be fucking good.
but like we said, we would love to know your comments below. Um, some of your favorite memories of Scooby Doo. And like always, thank you so much for watching. We're going to be trying to do these videos where we just kind of pick a topic that we cover and just talk about how we feel about it, the past,
How's
nostalgia
live up to
shows,
modern day?
how it lives up to modern day. We're going to try to be doing more of that instead of just the episode reviews, because honestly, these type videos are what we were kind of building our foundation of before we started the episode reviews, and I would love to get back into those. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and like always, I will see you in the next one. Later.